Perfect position to check on their progress at Villa Park, as was our commentator, Tony Gubber.
It's a surprise Premiership debut for Raymond van der Gouw, the free transfer among Manchester United's influx of summer signings. A late inclusion after Peter Schmeichel developed a stomach illness overnight and had to be left behind in Manchester. United failed to win any of the 4 games that Schmeichel missed last season. The other changes to United's lineup today: Roy Keane back after missing 6 games following an ankle operation. He replaces the injured Nicky Butt. Jordi Cruyff is back too, and Solskjaer still preferred up front, although Andy Cole got a hat-trick for the reserves in midweek to prove his sharpness. He's just a substitute. 8 of this Villa 11 have been ever present this season, including young Michael Oakes, continuing to deputise in goal for the injured Bosnich. Villa have a very strong-looking midfield trio in Townsend, Draper and Churchic. So far at least, though, Dwight Yorke has just been gently teased about his failure to score in 7 games. Steve Lodge of Barnsley is the referee, and this is the fixture from the opening day of last season, which gave rise to that infamous quote, "You never win anything with kids." United's Championship and FA Cup double disproved that, and with Villa also winning the Coca-Cola Cup, these two teams had a complete monopoly on all the major domestic trophies last season. Some sharp interchange of tackles in the opening moment, and finally upfield by Gary Neville. Alex Ferguson, now in his 11th season at Old Trafford, longest-serving manager in the Premiership. Giggs will get there first, but he's forced to turn away, finds Beckham in support. An early ball in. Jordi Cruyff challenges, and a second time. And Southgate can clear it. Oh, Pallister was in quickly. He got up gingerly, though, Pallister. Here's Beckham. Jordi Cruyff got in the strike. Pushed over by Michael Oakes. 22-year-old son of Alan Oakes, the former Manchester City player, in goal for Villa. Forced to make the first save from close range from Jordi Cruyff. Beckham takes it. That was Dwight Yorke covering. Giggs can't keep it down. And it's high into the crowd. But Gary Pallister is still struggling after that challenge to win the ball. He took a very large divot from the turf. That was ambitious, but it was well executed by Ekihog. He found Alan Wright. Now Steve Staunton on the overlap, but... well, it's the first shot that the debutant goalkeeper has had to field. He has played 45 minutes previously in an Umbro Cup tie. Another nice touch by Solskjaer. Cantona. Beckham. Keane. Here's Giggs. Solskjaer. Back to Giggs. Oh, he got in a good strike. 23-year-old, somewhat baby-faced Norwegian. Hasn't yet completed a full 90 minutes in a game for Manchester United, although he has appeared 5 times and scored twice. Here's Beckham. The point of attack switched to Cruyff on the left. Tries to run around Nelson, but the Portuguese international too strong for him. Here's Cantona. That came off Ekihog. Giggs to tee up Beckham. A second shot blocked, and it spins out to Churchic, who's done well to keep the ball and keep his balance. And somehow it finds its way to Milosevic. Well, he tried to run through Pallister, but just for a moment, Villa with their tails up. Offside, Dwight Yorke. Well, it was a good counter-attack by Villa, having needed to block 2 shots from Manchester United around the edge of their own penalty area. The ball breaking out to Churchill, who did very well to ride 1 or 2 sharp challenges. Cruyff's header! Oh! There were inches in it. Cruyff acknowledging the quality of the cross. Michael Oakes, airborne, couldn't have been sure whether that was in or out. Just wide of the upright. And Neville proving again what a great crosser of the ball he is. Jordi Cruyff. Gary Pallister, who seems none the worse for that little scare earlier when he was limping. Here's Beckham. Oh, the whistle's gone. Stephen Lodge has reached for the top pocket. It looked as though the United man had got the better of the defender. But Stephen Lodge immediately blew the whistle. And then the clash which followed it may have got Beckham into serious trouble. It's a yellow card for Beckham. Well, it looked from that angle as though Beckham had legitimately got the better of the defender, but Stephen Lodge blew the whistle. And then Beckham's reaction got him a caution. Neville. Keane. Back to Neville. Beckham. Back to Neville. That came off Steve Staunton, corner. Beckham with the corner. Ronnie Johnson up from the back. And wins it. Solskjaer. Keane kept it down. Cruyff miskicked. Pallister. Villa defenders look around and wonder what happened in that catalogue of events. Any one of 3 or 4 United players might have scored. Cruyff among them, and Pallister and Keane. He wanted to let it run, but he couldn't, and that's now given away to Townsend. Draper. Acknowledging a disappointed look at him from Churchill, who felt that he was in a better position. It's goalless in the first half at Villa Park, and Raymond van der Gouw will be grateful for the United defence in front of him, keeping his involvement down to an absolute minimum. And United go in at half-time feeling that they have perhaps shaded a first half, which nonetheless has ended goalless. Andy Cole, a second-half substitute for Manchester United. It's his 4th appearance of the season, all as a substitute after recovering from that bout of pneumonia. Replacement for Solskjaer as Villa kick off the second half. Neville, harried by Alan Wright. It's still in play. Draper. Brian Little took over at Villa Park in November 1994 and has done much to shape them into a team who look as if they could challenge for the championship. Staunton. No offside. Milosevic. Pallister in very sharply. Townsend comes up with it. It's Villa's ball. A good interception by Gary Pallister. Staunton. Churchill. Townsend. Here's Staunton. Goal kick. Oh, Gary Pallister showing his worth at the heart of that Manchester United defence. That's found Dwight York very well. Villa's top scorer last season, Dwight York, with 25 goals. But it's 7 games and a half so far this season, and he hasn't yet found the back of the net. Milosevic. Draper. Here's Nelson. Dwight York. Churchich. Out to Draper. Milosevic. He scored both goals in the 2-2 draw against Arsenal. And that perhaps as close as Villa have come this afternoon against Manchester United. 32-year-old Van der Gaal with his first save. Cruyff. Giggs very quickly onto it. Giggs, Cole's in the middle, off the post. Oh, Roy Keane trying to run it down, and now Staunton can clear it. That's out. Giggs with the shot against the frame of the goal. And you'd have to put that down as a good save by Michael Oakes, because he got a piece of it, he took a lot of the pace off it, redirected it, and the woodwork completed the job for Villa. Milosevic. Churchich wants everything. And he's got through. Referee has waved away any appeals for a penalty, and United are maybe suggesting that Churchich should have a yellow card. He weaved his way through a clutch of white-shirted defenders. Well, there was contact of a kind, but Churchich's dive didn't impress Stephen Lodge. Gary Neville hasn't had many chances to come forward from right back, particularly not in the second half. Giggs. Cole's header! Oh, back off the bar! Beckham. That's twice Manchester United have hit the woodwork in a half where they've had to soak up almost relentless Villa pressure. Churchich. Back heel puts Alan Wright free. Milosevic. Draper. United have got it out. And Pallister's down in Manchester United's penalty area. Here's Giggs. Here's Beckham. Yes. Well, Beckham's wondering about whether he should keep the ball alive. And Cantona makes the decision as the captain. Pallister is down and requires treatment. And United are wondering just how close they've got to come to scoring. Referee Stephen Lodge has reached into his pocket, and that's a card for Roy Keane, who now wants to come across and have a word with the linesman, who apparently has drawn the referee's attention to whatever it was that deserved a booking. All eyes on Gary Pallister requiring treatment in the penalty area, and something happening off the ball which has warranted Roy Keane being shown a yellow card, and Pallister will now rejoin the action. Fernando Nelson. Draper. Andy Townsend. Echiog. Milosevic. Here's Dwight York. It doesn't count. The linesman's flag has gone up. And what would have been Dwight York's first goal of the season, he's ruled out by the referee's assistant, who is subject to much abuse from the fans behind him. The flag against Dwight York, it may have been for offside or even possibly a handball. Dennis Irwin. Giggs. Into Cole, his left foot. He was at full stretch. And maybe because of the stride pattern, had to take it with the wrong foot. Giggs threading it through. Well, these two teams took all the trophies last season. They're expected to figure among the silverware this season too, and that's about as good a goalless draw as you can get. Cantona perhaps not quite the inspirational man for Manchester United this afternoon that he has been on previous occasions. York with the one ball in the net, which was ruled out by offside, and Manchester United can reflect that they twice hit Villa's woodwork through Giggs and Cole, but in truth in the second half had to absorb a lot of pressure. But maybe with Peter Schmeichel absent and the debutant goalkeeper Raymond van der Gouw in between their posts, will be very grateful to come away from Villa Park with a draw and a point. Final score here, Aston Villa 0, Manchester United 0.
We're a little bit worried at half-time, but at the end of the game, we're pleased to have got something out of it. And for all they came the closest, I felt, to scoring, you know, outside of Dwight's chance, which straight away I thought was offside and handball. I thought they had the better chances, so I'm pleased to have come through it.
They did twice hit your woodwork in the second half, despite all the pressure that Villa had them under.
But that's what they're about. They have such a variation to the play. They're capable of slowing the game down when necessary and keeping the ball, and then they counter-attack other times very, very quickly. So they can do either.
It would have been a choker for us to have lost that, having played the way we were playing in the second half. You know, in recent weeks we've had games slip away from us in the dying minutes of games. So today, I suppose we can be thankful that we held out and got the point.
I think we felt there would be goals in the game. So as I've said, sometimes it's a surprise. Alex threw something at me before the game just to put me on my toes. He said to me, you know, you played well for 40 minutes last week, but Chelsea tactically caught you out second half, just to throw a little one in at me before the game. And I was thinking, well, what's he going to do now? So he's it made me think a little bit before the game that he was aware of he was going to do something tactically different to perhaps what we expected. But you know, we came out of it quite well, I guess.
Brian Little's talking tactics there, and Alan, it looked to me like tactically the two sides cancelled themselves out.
Yeah, I think the Manchester United away from home always defend the 18-yard line, get men behind the ball, and so did Villa when they weren't in possession. And because there's no space between back four and keeper, it makes it very difficult and very tight. And what you need in those situations is your better players, your Eric Cantona and your Dwight York, that can create something from nothing, to do something inspirational. That just didn't happen for either player today.
Right, let's clear up the incident, the disallowed goal from Dwight York. Bit of confusion. Was it handball, offside, or a bit of everything, as Brian Little said?
Well, when we slow this down, you'll definitely see it's not offside. When Milosevic heads it here, we stop it, and you can see Dwight York behind. It's definitely onside. The referee's in a good position there, but I think that you'll find that when he puts it in the back of the net, the linesman puts the flag up, and he stands there quite adamant that Dwight York's offside. So I think he got that wrong, but they get there in the end because it definitely shouldn't have been a goal, because clearly Dwight York handled it. Comes past him here, the hand comes out, he brings it down, and then puts it in the back of the net. So it would be a little bit unfair if that goal had been given.
Now, I know you never like saying good things about defenders, but today, surely, Alan.
Once a year. Once a year I go big in defenders, and today was the day. Staunton puts it through, We freeze it here, familiar sight. Look at the whites behind the ball. But for once, the Manchester United line is all astray, and what you need then is somebody to recover. Pallister comes across. That is an absolutely magnificent tackle, Milosevic. No room for error there. He nearly gets up quickly, and then he forces Townsend. And the defending is just magnificent. It really is. Not too bad at the other end as well. I was impressed with Gareth Southgate today. Nice United pass and move. We've circled Southgate and Cole. Now watch Cole's movement. Superb. He just drags away from Southgate, then accelerates into the space, leaves him for dead, but Southgate recovers well, and he just does enough. And I think, you know, Southgate does well. He gets in good positions, he organises the defence well, and he's definitely a good player.
Be honest, Alan, you love a 0-0 really, don't you?
Highlight of my day, that was 0-0.
All right, we'll move on.